Welcome to Cornwall, a quintessential paradise where I've spent some of the happiest times of my life. I'm Caroline Quentin, and this summer I'll be heading deeper into the heart of Britain's most westerly county. I'll be meeting people whose lives are connected with this breathtaking landscape.
What a brilliant, brilliant event.
It's been brilliant.
Well done. It's a triumph.
And visiting the places that make this county an artist's dream.
I can see the entire county of Cornwall from here.
From the stunning headlands to the green, green pastures.
Come with me and I'll show you just how special this county really is.
This week, thrill seekers are taking the plunge on Cornwall's north coast.
You're not always the most streetwise when you go into a big town or city, but I'm willing to give that up for what we've got here.
And I'll be heading out on the boat trip of a lifetime.
Oh, God! Oh, God, it's really exciting!
But first...
Every time I come to Cornwall, I seem to discover a new hidden gem. And I've done it again. This is Port Quinn on the North Cornwall coast, and it is absolutely beautiful. But it's small wonder that I can always find a new beach or little cove, because Cornwall has nearly 300 miles of coast. It's no wonder everybody spends so much time in or on the water. This summer, I'm going to join them.
No matter how many times I visit Cornwall, the beauty of the north coast never fails to astound me. Imagine being able to see breathtaking views like this on a daily basis. The Williams family do just that. They've farmed this spectacular land above Port Quinn for 4 generations. John and his sons Mark and Sam have their hands full with nearly 400 acres of land, sheep, cattle and crops. The boys also have their own water sports business, run by eldest son Sam. Their lives and this terrain are completely entwined. I've come to Scarabine Farm to find out what makes this family dedicate their lives to this extraordinary Cornish landscape.
Sam, you were raised on this farm, weren't you?
Yeah, I was raised just up the hill, and then we used to walk down to the farm every day, you know, to sort of help out.
So you and your brother really haven't moved very far from here?
No, we've always been around here, really. Never away for very long.
What keeps you here?
The coast, the family, you know, the farm's what keeps us all, I guess, really sort of bonded.
Got the farm and you've also got the water sports.
Yeah, there's never really a quiet season. Summertime, we're busy on the water, and then in the winter, it's busy on the farm.
And is that the way it's always going to be for you, Sam? Do you
I
ever
think
see...
so, yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just, I think, I can't see myself really wanting to live anywhere else, you know. I have friends that go away and live in the city and things, but I think even they always want to come back. There's something about Cornwall that always draws you back.
With this family business, ties are strong. Dad John has worked hard here, and he's delighted his sons are now by his side.
Hello! You're absolutely enormous. Is it nice to watch your boy helping on the farm?
Yeah. Saves me working till my old age pension.
It's been in your family for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think Grandfather came here in the late 1890s, somewhere along that line. And my dad took on, and I've carried on. So yeah, we haven't gone far.
Do you want the boys to inherit the farm, John?
Oh yes, yeah. I wouldn't be doing it else, really.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. They want to come see what's going on now.
Yeah, they're big babies, really. You know, they're not bulls or anything. They're all steers, so yeah, they're soft as butter, really.
Are you soft as butter? You're the same colour as butter.
They will come and lick you to death more than anything else.
John's built a beautiful life for his family that he hopes will continue for generations. But as ever here, there's work to be done. I've been sent off to find youngest son Mark to discuss the next job of the day.
Your dad has asked me to give you a hand moving the sheep.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing that?
Yeah. We all get involved when we sort of got to move the sheep.
You tell me what to do?
Yeah, it's just mainly, we're bringing them back through Port Quinn, and there's a few gaps and a few bits and bobs where they sort of bomb burst through. So maybe if you guys block those gaps,
All right.
I'll follow up the rear with Wenger here.
All right.
And we'll keep them running.
Very good. How many are we moving?
There's about 250.
Oh God, that's
That's
loads.
a small lot.
Is it?
Yeah. Sometimes
okay.
we're talking 600 or something.
I really don't want to move 600 sheep. I couldn't cope with that. I might, but I'll do my best to try and stop the 200 going into people's gardens.
I've got faith in you.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, you do a good job.
Good man.
As Sam, Mark and their nephew Ollie start to move the sheep through the narrow roads, a mile away in Port Quinn, I'm raring to go. The sheep are moved once a month to fresh pastures. Their orange behinds mean these lucky ladies have been introduced to a ram. And it's not long before a gentle trot becomes a raging torrent of wool.
Yeah, just stand there, Caroline. Not too close. There you go.
So many of them. Should I bring up the rear? Oh, yeah.
We'll pull you along, actually.
Will he pull me up the hill?
Don't let go of him.
Hello. Is that Ollie?
Yeah, it's little Ollie, yeah.
Hello, Ollie.
Nephew.
Caroline. Lovely to meet you.
He's working part-time on the farm at the minute through the summer.
Oh, they're so cheap, aren't they, at that age?
With the sheep safely in the new field, they can tuck into the lush green grass. And we'll see the boys later on to show us just how much fun this coast can be. It's not just the sheep that are flourishing this summer. On Cornwall's beautiful south coast, nestled on the banks of the Helford River, is Trebar Gardens, one of my family's favourite haunts. This 25-acre subtropical floral paradise boasts some of the most exotic plants in the UK. There are over 5,000 species of plants that cascade from the house to the river, and that all needs a lot of tending. Darren Dickey is head gardener at Trebar and knows how lucky he is to live and work in such a unique area.
I moved down when I was 10. I've grown up in Cornwall. Cornwall is really special to me. We can grow a lot more diverse range of plants in Cornwall, in particular in Trebar, because we're a very southerly garden, very close to the sea. So it's those combination of contributing factors which make the garden so exciting.
Darren has worked here for 21 years, first meeting his wife, Debbie, amongst the blooms.
I'd started work in 2004, and then a couple of years later, it was 2006, when we realised we liked each other.
Yeah. We both have a love of plants and love of gardens, and now a love of each other.
Today, Darren has assembled a small army of volunteers to harvest some of Trebar's magnificent hydrangeas. These plants thrive in Cornwall as they love rain almost as much as sunshine. These were planted in the 1950s for the cut flower market in Covent Garden. Today, special blooms are being cut to order.
We're going to cut around about sort of 140, 150 hydrangea heads, box them up, send them off by courier.
The harvest begins in the early morning, when the atmosphere in the garden takes on a different quality.
It is a very special feeling because there's nobody around, it's very quiet, and although we wholeheartedly welcome visitors obviously to the garden, up until about 10 o'clock it is our own place.
And there's a secret to this kaleidoscope of colour.
Colour is regulated by the acidity or the alkalinity of the soil. You need the acidity of the soil if you want the blues, or the alkalinity of the soil if you want the sort of pinks. Okay, I think that's it.
Back at the main house, the blossoms are sorted and boxed up, ready for the courier. A job well done, and we'll be spending more time with Darren this summer. But still to come, I get to fulfil a long-held dream.
I really cannot believe that I'm actually at the wheel of the Padstow lifeboat. Most of us come to Cornwall for a taste of the great outdoors, and there's nothing better than spending time in the water. Sometimes this is an amazing tropical 18 degrees. That's enough. Freezing.
But whatever the weather, one place that always offers a warm welcome is Pentillie Castle, on the banks of the River Tamar. And today, things are really hotting up. The Corrigan family are getting ready to host this evening's performance of Macbeth in the grounds, and it's a hive of activity.
Tonight's event, we're really looking forward to because you can stand back and watch an audience watching, and you're just thinking, yes, this is what it's all about, and it's the whole sort of magic of Pentillie comes alive.
Mum Sarah, Dad Ted and daughter Sammy were the reluctant heirs of Pentillie in 2007, but soon realised they needed to do justice to their good fortune.
We initially had to make a big decision about what we did with Pentillie, whether we sold it or kept it. I think it's fairly obvious we're incredibly lucky to even have the opportunity to be here at Pentillie, and so the thought of selling it seemed a little bit pathetic, that you don't even make an effort to turn it into something.
Yeah, Pentillie has been pretty closed for the last 30 years. My cousin lived here virtually as a recluse, and so we had a tremendous opportunity. There was a lot of enthusiasm in the locality for people to come and see it, and we had a blank canvas. We could do really what we liked with it.
They fell in love with the place, but staying was never going to be easy. The building had been badly neglected, so they rolled up their sleeves and set about the gargantuan task of turning it into a sustainable business. 5 years on, overcoming many obstacles, they're flat out, running the castle as a 5-star B&B, wedding venue and holding a variety of events throughout the year.
Yes, it's been tough. I think we'd be lying if we said it hadn't. It is bloody hard when you're still working at 2 in the morning. But yes, we happen to be doing it in an incredibly beautiful setting, and for that, you know, I'll be eternally grateful.
But despite all the hard work, their love for Pentillie and Cornwall has never faltered.
Cornwall is a special place. It's got its own identity, and I think people who live here are friendly, helpful.
Everyone who isn't in Cornwall thinks we all live this amazing life with swimming in the river in the mornings, going to the beach after work. We get the sun all the time, we've got delicious food and great produce, and actually they're right.
I could never foresee ourselves moving away from this part of the world, from Cornwall. It's our life, and Pentillie's given a huge amount back to us, and this is where we're going to well be.
I hope everyone's ready. The crowds are gathering.
Barbecue bar, help yourselves and make yourselves at home. Lovely to see you.
The evening's entertainment's about to begin.
People having fun and being entertained is what Pentillie's all about, absolutely. It's definitely a place that deserves sharing, I think.
The audience seem to agree with you, Sammy. Earlier, I spent some time with the Williams family in Port Quinn. Back on their North Coast farm, a group of thrill-seekers have arrived and they're bracing themselves for a Cornish coast adventure. 6 years ago, Sam and Mark diversified and set up a water sports business. The inspiration was right outside their window.
We're in such a beautiful spot, beautiful part of the world. We've got Port Quinn on our doorstep, Port Isaac, Polzeth. And there's lots of people here in the summer as well, you know, so you'd be silly not to really use your strengths and offer something a bit different.
Sam and Mark spent their childhood here, rock pooling, swimming and surfing. They know every nook and cranny of this shoreline. They turned their love of water sports into a business and went from keen amateurs to qualified professionals. The idea hasn't always been popular with every member of the family.
My dad doesn't really come out in the kayaking because he can't swim, but was maybe a bit dubious when we first started doing it. He's of the old school thought where, you know, you're not working unless you're sort of lifting a shovel, you know, which is good, which has brought us up in a good way, you know, because we appreciate hard work. But then after a couple of years, he realised, you know, it's definitely a good thing we've got going on.
Now the boys can share their experience of this coastline by taking others kayaking. Or if you're feeling brave, there's something rather exhilarating on offer. Coasteering.
Coasteering is just swimming, scrambling and jumping into the water and just having fun, really.
With everyone suited and booted, it's time to go coastal.
You're wearing a wetsuit, pair of boots, buoyancy aid and a helmet, so you're really buoyant and you can get into places perhaps where you wouldn't feel very comfortable just swimming. It's a totally new thing for a lot of people that haven't grown up on the coastline like we have.
You wouldn't catch me doing that. They seem to be loving it.
Probably the favourite bit about the business is when it's a sunny day and people that are having a great time. It's good fun just showing them, getting in there and getting stuck in. I don't think I've seen any coastline that sort of matches this one, really. You're not always the most streetwise when you go into a big town or city because you've kind of grown up in the sticks a little bit, but I'm willing to give that up for what we've got here. So yeah, it's pretty awesome, really.
Go on, Sam. That's not the last we'll see of him this summer. It's wonderful to know that for all those like Sam who love to play in these Cornish waters, you're never far away from the helping hands of a lifeboat crew. There are 14 lifeboat stations in Cornwall, more than any other county in the UK. And just down the road from the Williams family is one I know well.
Last summer, I was lucky enough to come here and watch the launch of a lifeboat from the Padstow lifeboat station. And this year, they're actually going to let me go on a training exercise. I'm a little bit nervous and very excited.
There's been a lifeboat in Padstow for nearly 2 centuries, and the latest coxswain is Alan Tarby. A 35-year veteran of the RNLI, Alan has agreed to take me out on one of the team's weekly practice sessions on their boat, the Spirit of Padstow.
We'll get your gear and we'll get moving.
Hope I don't let the side down. There are 23 seagoing crew made up of local men and women. Each week, up to 9 are chosen to go to sea in all weathers and refresh their rescuing skills.
Yeah. What's your missus? Alex. It's all perfectly above board and... Oh! Hello.
The north coast waters of Cornwall can be particularly perilous. 30 medals for gallantry have been awarded to crew members during the Padstow lifeboat's 200-year history.
I didn't think I'd be this scared, but I am suddenly really scared because when I look down there, it looks really terrifyingly far away, the water, and I'm worried about what's going to happen when we actually hit the water.
All aboard. There's no backing out now.
You want to push that one? We're ready to go.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my God. Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh! Oh! Oh God, it's really exciting!
We're heading west towards Trevor's Head and across the tidal race, known as Ramsey Alley. It may look calm.
Whoa! Oh!
Once you get clear of there, she'll go quiet again.
Really?
But in much calmer waters, Alan seems confident that I can take the helm.
You head straight for the yacht. As you turn the wheel, you see the rudder moves.
I really cannot believe that I'm actually at the wheel of the Padstow lifeboat.
And neither, I suspect, can the crew of that yacht.
Oh God, can you imagine driving towards it really, really fast and they see some terrible old sitcom actress at the wheel?
Now the real crew get to work. The faster tidal waters of Trevor's Head provide the perfect training ground. Each week, different manoeuvres are practiced in tricky seas. Today, they're launching the Y-boat. Crew member Ian Kitto explains.
That's our little inflatable boat that we transfer crew to yachts. We can search inshore with that multi-purpose little boat.
Presumably, you'd have to do that in really rough waters sometimes, would you?
Yeah, it's nice here today.
It
is, yeah.
I think it's amazing that all these guys have sort of regular jobs during the day, and then when there's a call out, they have to look after people. Nobody gets paid, it's all voluntary, it's quite incredible. As I was leaving the lifeboat station, there are members of the public all saying to me, I so envy you, I really envy you. I've always wanted to do that, I can't believe it. And I was feeling quite scared. And I suddenly realised I had to stop feeling scared and start being grateful, because I think it's a huge privilege to come out on this boat. I can say that now I'm feeling less sick, actually. I feel better at the back.
With a successful exercise under their belt,
How was that?
It's like a roller coaster.
it's time to head back.
Apparently we go in backwards. Astern. Stern, yeah. Thank you very much, Alan. That was really one of the most memorable things I think I've ever done. And apart from feeling really quite nauseous at one point, it was thoroughly enjoyable, really exciting and incredible to see you guys actually, doing your work up close. It was extraordinary. And no wonder, Cornwall's so proud of you all, Padstow in particular.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Really fantastic.
Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Can't wait to get off though.
What a fantastic journey it's already proving to be. So far I've had the warmest of welcomes and I'm once more entranced by this landscape.
So join me next time. It's going to be a great summer.
Now it's your chance to visit Falmouth in Cornwall with our competition. Enjoy views and subtropical gardens on a 7-night stay with 3 friends. You'll receive champagne on arrival and a choice of spa treatments or afternoon tea. You will also receive a full Cornish breakfast and dinner throughout your stay, courtesy of the St Michael's Hotel and Spa, Falmouth. Plus return travel, car hire and £2,000 spending money. So for your chance to win this Cornish holiday and £2,000, just answer the following question correctly. What is Cornwall's only city? A. Bristol. B. Plymouth. C. Truro. Call 090 4959 6161. Calls cost no more than £1.03 from BT landlines, other networks may be higher and mobiles considerably more. Or text A, B or C as your answer to 88444. Texts cost £1 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or there's free entry at the website. Entrance must be 18 or over. Entries made after lines close at 10 a.m. Friday 8th of February will not be counted but may still be charged.
We're off to Oxford to solve a murder in the psychic community. My ITV crystal ball says Lewis at 9. But next, what's Kylie gonna do in Coronation Street?